up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of In the Flow with Pastor Joe. Good morning. I say good morning to all of you all, man. I am very excited about what God has in store for us today. Hey, check this out. What are you eating for breakfast this morning? So I have as soon as we're done with this, man, I have I have ministry workers training here at Alive Church, man. This place is about to be jumping in about an hour with ministry workers from our church, man. This is our monthly ministry workers training. And so I got to go real light, man. So I got some trail mix and Pastor got that water, man. I'm trying to cut down. Can y'all tell? Can y'all tell I'm losing a little bit of weight? Let me get some. Yeah. What are you eating for breakfast? Let me know. Type in the comment. Let's go. Listen, let's get to work, man. Let's get to work. I'm telling you, God has something for you today. All right, so in this episode, man, welcome to episode 3. You all, we've been rocking for 3 weeks now. And I'm excited. I'm elated. For those of you all who are brand new to this podcast, welcome again to In the Flow. I am your host, Pastor Joe. Are y'all ready to go? We are what we call the Flow family. All right. You are my Flow family. Do me a favor. If you're in the family, I need you to type in the flow. I'm in the flow. Yeah. I'm in the flow. I just need to know who my Flow family is. I hope I ain't putting too much on you this morning. But if you're in the flow family, I need to know what city you're from. I need to know your city, maybe your state. Shout it out to me right quick, man. I just want to know where we are reaching, man, and how far we are reaching. I'm excited. Are y'all ready to go? Wait a minute. Y'all already know what time it is. If you're excited, put some fire in the chat. Let's go. Light that chat up, man. Put some fire in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, let's do this. All right. So as you've seen, or if you didn't, today's episode is all about, can you focus on me? Yeah, y'all know every Saturday morning, I'm coming off of date night with First Lady on from Friday nights. I'm coming straight into the office. Friday night, date night, Saturday morning, In the Flow podcast. And so I got her on my brain. I got her, First Lady, and I got her on my brain and her in my ear. Pastor, what? Y'all pray for me. I got, yeah, can you focus on me? Woo! Okay. Yeah. Can you focus on me? That's where we're going today. Are y'all ready? I got some heat for you. So here we go. So let's dive out here. Let's leap from here and dive straight in. So you remember week 1, we dropped some flowology that said, don't just start over. Start fresh. I think all season 1, I'm going to be reiterating that, repeating that, resounding that, because I think it's critical that every relationship doesn't just start fresh or doesn't just start over, but you give it a fresh start. Today specifically, I'm coming specifically for romantic relationships, platonic relationships, golden levels. Yeah, I need to, we're going to start over the next couple of weeks, man, kind of breaking some of this stuff down and targeting certain areas of relationships so that we can make sure we fully maybe speak to every area of relationship possible. So we'll talk family dynamic, we'll talk professional, organizational relationships and all of that. We'll talk some We'll just talk. We'll just talk. All right. And so listen, we are just hanging. Can you do me a favor real quick? If you haven't yet, do me a favor, hit that like button right quick. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button real quick. Make sure you share with somebody. Let's flow together. Okay. So today we're talking specifically about romantic relationships. And so thinking about romantic relationships, remember we talked about week 1, don't just start over, start fresh. Well, I got to thinking about how one of the most challenging things is learning how to navigate in a relationship. What to do, when to do it, how to do it. These are some of the most important components of any relationship. Knowing how to flow, knowing what to say, when to say it, what to do, when to do it, right? These are some relational keys. And also when you're thinking about this level, this kind of relationship, I think you also have to grapple with this idea of, is this decision going to affect, is it going to affect, or is it going to effect or infect my relationship, right? Is it going to affect or infect my relationship? And so I want to drop, come on, let's get straight to it, man. Let's just talk. So as it is concerning romantic relationships and platonic relationships, golden level marriages and all of that, fresh start, watch this. If you take notes, I love people who take notes. If you take notes, put this in your notes for me. That fresh starts, watch this, begin with acknowledgments and the liberty to be. It begins with acknowledgments and providing the liberty to be. So in other words, watch this. When I say acknowledgments, I mean, who are you in relationship with? Watch this. And what gifts, talents, abilities, skills do they have? What are their aspirations? We need to acknowledge all of these things. And then not only acknowledging these things, but giving them space to be certain things. Oh, this is about to be a good day today. Come on. Do you have your thinking cap on? Do you have your maturity turned all the way up? Because you're going to need it today. Because when we talk about starting fresh, I think a fresh start begins with acknowledging who you're in relationship with, and not just acknowledging them by their name, their identity, if you will. This is such and such. No, I'm more so speaking to who they are in terms of their abilities, their gifts, their passions, their desires, and acknowledging these things. Pastor Joe, why is that important? Because you need to know, watch this, especially my married couples, you need to know who you said I do to. You need to know, for those of you all who are single, right? Single in relationships. Pastor, single in relationships, yeah. Because I believe, forgive this subjective discourse, you're either married or single. It's this, we'll wrestle with some of that later and what all that really means, especially if you're Christian, because Christians don't casually date. Thank you, Dr. Ari Vernon. My pastor, we date on assignment, right? So we don't just casually date. So even speaking to dating, right? That dating is that interview process. Who am I sitting across from? In your relationships, you got to ask that question. You got to ask, who is this that I'm connected to, and what do they bring? What do they provide? What gifts do they have? What abilities do they have? What are they into? Oh man, these things are important. These things are important. And as I told you last week, and I think I told you on week 1, watch this. Don't say I do to somebody you really don't. Be careful who you say I do to, because what if you say I do and you really don't? My prayer is that you say I do because you really want to. Yeah. Now, every relationship, we're just talking, man. I ain't preaching. I'm not following any particular type of rules. We're just hanging this Saturday morning. I'm just dropping some nuggets on you. And one of the biggest things I need you to understand, especially as it is concerning your relationships and acknowledgments and all of that. Pastor Joe, why are we starting here? Because you have to understand that your relationship and the developing of your relationship, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Now the question is, in this marathon, we have the starting line. Now the question is, where's the finishing line? Where's the finish line? And the reason why I say that, hear me, is because I believe, now listen to me, I talk to couples, I promise you, at least once and twice a week. I talk to different couples about whatever. And here is one of the biggest problems, or one of the biggest challenges that many couples run into. Feel me on this. The problem, watch this, with most relationships is that they don't know where they're going. Pastor, what did you just say? I said the problem with most relationships is that the relationship doesn't know where it's going. So in other words, you're with somebody, but we're going nowhere. Or I'm with somebody, but we don't know where we're going. Where is this relationship going? And I believe, hear me real good, that most relationships, the reason why you can be with beautiful people. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not just talking about beautiful on the outside, externally, but I'm also talking about internally. You can be with a beautiful person and you all don't know where you're going. And I believe part of that issue is because the relationship hasn't been purpose driven. Yeah, your relationships have to be purpose driven. This is why Christians don't casually date. We date on assignment. We date on purpose. Why? Because the ultimate purpose is to be married, right? And it's this idea, hear me, that the two become one to produce the very will of God and all of that. Okay? And the reality is you can't marry everyone you see, right? Can't do that. We already talked about that. You can't marry everyone you see. So how do you pick the right person? You pick the right person predicated on purpose. Now, hear me real good. You can't have relational purpose without having individual purpose. Let me say it one more time. You cannot have relational purpose without having individual purpose, because how do you know who to connect with relationally if you don't know who you are individually? You don't know who you are as an individual. And this is where a lot of relationships kind of clash, and a lot of people begin to clash. Because we don't identify who we are individually, and so then we get with this person. And it's not that this person is a bad person. The issue is that purposes don't match. Oh, this is good teaching. Or I'm with a beautiful person for the wrong reason. Wow. Or I'm with a beautiful person and here I am trying to make them align with purpose, or they're trying to make me align with purpose. Watch this. And their purpose and my purpose don't match. They don't agree. Come on. Those of you all in the Christendom, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. Amos chapter 3, verse number 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So Amos is not talking about literal, right? Just literally. That's too small. That's too myopic. It's more so this idea of speaking to purpose. Can two people go in the same direction, going after the same thing, unless they be in agreement? The answer is no. So here's one of the biggest things we have to, let me give you some flowology. Watch this. Here's some flowology. Are you ready? A relationship without purpose is like a new car with no gas. Pastor Joe, say that again. A relationship without purpose is like a new car with no gas. It looks great, but it isn't going anywhere. Wow. And how many people, if we can be honest, how many people have dated some people and you're like, no, I had to cut this off because this relationship or this connection, or I already see now that this is not going to have any sustenance to it. Yeah, I already see now. Watch this. I already see now we are not equally yoked in the sense that, now that, again, that does not make either one of you bad people. But the purposes don't complement. So who I am doesn't match who you are, and that's okay. But if we're already together right here, then we have to make sure that the two match. This is good. Is this good? Right? So, okay, so let's do some little quick recap. So last week we talked about the difference between relationship goals and relationship results. Do you remember that? If you missed it, just catch this right quick. Relationship goals versus relationship results. Pastor Joe, what's the difference? Remember, the difference is relationship goals, where we want to be in our relationship, our connection, right? Our ability to connect. But relationship results or relationship accomplishments are the results, watch this, of our connectivity. So in other words, when we connect together, we are able to produce this. When we connect together. And part of us connecting together, hear me real good, begins with acknowledgments. I'm going to harp on that. I'm going to sit on that for a minute. Right? It begins with acknowledgments. Again, Amos is asking, can two walk together except they agree? And the true answer is no. Why? Because relationships, okay, all right, let me just go ahead and start a fight early, right? We already midway through our session. Can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I need some water before I tell you this. I need, whoa! Can I tell you, I'm about to drop something on you. Can I tell you that relationships aren't just about being on the same page? This is about to be good. Relationships aren't just about being on the same page. They're about being on the same path. Oh, Pastor Joe, say that again. It's not just about being on the same page, but it's about being on the same path. So my prayer for you today, watch this, is for your relationship, for our relationships to go from page to path. From page, I gotta calm down because we just talking. This is a podcast. I ain't preaching. From page to path. Pastor Joe, path? Yes. Watch this. Because page suggests what we are digesting, what we are focused on, right? Page suggests the plan. Path suggests the action. What methodologies are we going to take to get from where we are to where we want to be? Woo! And I believe in many relationships. I know people always talking about, we're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. But I want to ask, even when you get on the same page, do you have the same path? Do you have the same method of arriving? Oh, this is so good. Ooh, watch this. Because so First Lady and I have been in wonderful, man, we're just talking about the future, talking about kids, talking about our lives, talking about the church and all of that. And watch this. And so we've been talking about some different ways of trying to get to where we want to be. Because it's not just enough about being on the same page. Are you on the same path? watch this, do we have the same execution to arrive where it is that we want to be? What is your relational path? What is your relational path? What is your relational execution? Where do you want to be and how do you plan to get there? Is this good? Watch this. Because the key to relational success, here we go, is the power of agreement. The power of agreement. Okay, let me go ahead and let the cat out the bag. Can I tell you that who's asking the question, can you focus on me? That question is not being asked from you or your partner. That question is being asked from your purpose together. Purpose is asking you, can y'all focus on me? Ooh. Because see, sometimes there's relationship discourse and there's relationship issues and all of that disconnects. And so because oftentimes, watch this, somebody has lost focus on purpose. Because, okay, Pastor Joe, prove your case. Hear me real good, because when I'm focused on purpose, I'm not only focused on my needs, but I'm also focused on my wife's needs. When we're focused on purpose, she's not just focused on what she needs or what she wants, but she's also asking the question, what does he need? Watch this, from a male's perspective. What does my husband need? And I'm asking the question, what does my wife need? And it can be as small or as large, watch this, as something to drink or affirmation. Why? Because when I know who they are and what they have in them, watch this, I know how to fuel, watch this, I know how to fuel their system to keep them in the best positions possible. Because when we're focused on purpose, we're asking the question, what is my purpose with you? What is your purpose with me? So we can fulfill what God has called for us to do together. Purpose is asking today, can you focus on me? Because maybe if we focus on purpose, we wouldn't argue so much. Oh, Pastor, correct that. Christians don't argue. We have heated fellowship. Maybe if we focused on purpose, we wouldn't have to have so much heated fellowship. Maybe if we focus on purpose, watch this, our spouse or our partner wouldn't have to ask for so many things, but we would be in tune, watch this, and be considerate to do it even before they ask for it. Ooh, I'm trying to take your relationship to a whole nother level. Yeah, watch this, because, okay, my prayer for you all, my prayer for us, come here, Flow family. Is this good? Put some fire in the chat. My prayer, Flow family, watch this. Okay, my prayer, watch this, is that we not only get on the same page, but we get on the same path. Because I'm about to drop a bomb. Can I drop a bomb? I'm almost done. I got to get to this leadership training. They're going to be here in a little while. Can I tell you all? Can I tell you all? Watch this. I'm about to drop a bomb. Trip on this. That prayer is not the number one weapon in a relationship. Trip on this. Prayer is not the number one weapon in a relationship. Agreement is. Pastor Joe, say what? I want to say it to you one more time. That prayer is not the number one weapon in a relationship. agreement is. Yeah. Pastor, prove it. Because we both can be praying, but if we're not praying about the same thing, number one, and then we both can be praying, but if I'm praying, watch this, against you and you praying against me, that's not good practice. That's not good formula. That doesn't help us get anywhere. Watch this. Our prayers vis-a-vis our relationship become insufficient, insignificant. Woo! Watch this. When we're not in agreement. So now I have to ask you the question, do you agree with what you acknowledge about your spouse? Are you in agreement? Boy, I wish I had some more time. We might hang here for a little bit. Because this is part of how we arrive at agreement. Hear me. I acknowledge what's in you and I'm in agreement with what's in you. Because the truth of the matter is, sometimes I can acknowledge let me kind of go here. Let me kind of go here that the truth of the matter is I don't like everything in First Lady and she doesn't like everything in me. So when I'm talking about acknowledgement, I'm talking about what you're into, what you're focused on, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your aspirations. What do you believe God has called you to, and all of that? What do you believe that God has created you for? So when I say acknowledge, I'm talking about watch this, acknowledging and coming into agreement with what your spouse or your partner has said. This is what God has called me to, created me for. This is my desires. These are my goals. These are my aspirations and all of that. This is what I want to do with my life. Because after you acknowledge it, then the power of your relationship is in the agreement. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this is so good. Watch this. Now, let's go to this next level. And I'm almost done, I promise you. Let's go to this next level. So the next thing we have to understand is, after we have acknowledgement and we have agreement, we also have to understand that you cannot base your relationship off of somebody else's relationship. And this is why acknowledgement and agreement is so important. Here it is. Watch this. Because what is applicable and appropriate for their relationship may not be applicable and appropriate for yours. Because the moment, hear me real good, because the moment I acknowledge and I come into agreement with that which you have believed that God has called you to, and I'm in agreement with it, now our relationship, watch this, is predicated on these things. So the direction of our relationship, what we're into, what we do, what we believe, watch this, our page and our path all speak to purpose. Yes. And so sometimes what's good for other relationships may not be good for yours. And then sometimes it may be, right? This is where that communication comes into play and all of that. So watch this, so we can be on the same path. So we can be on the same page, so we can be on the same path, so we can be on the same purpose. Is this good, everybody? All right, watch this. Now, after we understand the power of agreement, I also like, now, of course, like I said, again, I'm not preaching. I'm just throwing some nuggets. Again, for those of you all just coming in, welcome to In the Flow with Pastor Joe. This episode is all about, can you focus on me? Purpose is asking, can you focus on me? Because I like Amos chapter 3, verse number 3. Now we're going to verse number 4. It says, will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Watch this. So in other words, is the lion going to waste a roar when there is no prey? The answer is no. So if that be the case, come here, single people. Don't waste relational energy. Woo! Pastor, what did you just say? I said, don't waste relational energy. Purpose is saying, can you focus on me? And when purpose asks that, I'm just dumping, y'all. I ain't preaching. I'm just dumping, right? When purpose says, can you focus on me? Purpose is also saying don't date anybody, don't connect to anybody, watch this, who you know good and well that does not speak to your life's purpose. That's called wasting relational energy. I'm just kicking it with people and hanging it with people just because. Man, that's a waste of time. Right? And here's something I really just got to tell you, especially for those of you all who belong to me. When I say belong to me, you're either in the Flow family or you're in a Live Nation. Can I tell you, don't try to make someone the one. Watch this. Don't try to make someone the one when it's obvious that they are not the one. Because here's the truth. If they're not the one for you, newsflash, you're not the one for them. Wow. Let me say it again. If they're not the one for you, then you're not going to be the one for them. And at some point, it's going to show up. Yeah. At some point, it's going to show up. Hear me. It's really erroneous, ladies and gentlemen. It's really erroneous to impose, watch this, the formality of another relationship on your spouse, on yourself. So in other words, well, my homegirl did it, so I'm going to do it like this. Or watch this, to impose another formality. Come here, married couples. Well, they doing it, so we got to do it. No, man, that's erroneous. That's wrong. No, that's wrong. Because again, what works for other people may not work for you. Okay, especially if, watch this, they don't ascribe to the same things you do. So in other words, how a non-believer dates, a believer can't date like that. Okay, how non-believing couples operate, believing couples can't operate like that. If y'all want me to go deeper, type in the comment, go deeper. If y'all want to go there, type in the comment, let's go there. Okay? Let's go there. I'm done. Here's what I need you to have. If you're going to be focused on purpose, if your relationship is going to be focused on purpose, here's what I need you to have. I'm out of here. I need you to have relational vision. Pastor Joe, what's relational vision? Relational vision, watch this, is having the perception necessary for relational success. And that's in the relationship that you're in, not other people. Not what they're doing. Not we're trying to live, watch this, to try to keep up with the Joneses. Who are the Joneses? Okay? So it's this idea. What vision do you have for your relationship, especially, and how does that vision align with your purpose? Okay? Now, purpose said I can do this. So let me turn a little corner. Let me make a little pivot. Purpose said I can do this. Let me make a little pivot. The worst thing in the world, ladies and gentlemen, is to be in a relationship with a person you don't see. Wow. Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus? I can't sing. Huh? Because here's that. Let me give you a relational secret. If I don't see you right, then I can't see us right. And when we say see, we're not talking about literal. We're talking about metaphoric, right? Metaphorically. Metaphorical sight, if you will. This idea of recognizing what's in that other person, what their passions are, what their gifts are, what their abilities and their limitations. Oh no, you need to know them both. Not just their abilities, you also need to know their limitations. Yeah, because even as I told us last week, I believe that God brings Eve back to Adam, and now God takes something out of Adam. So now what God took out of Adam now lives in Eve. So which means there should be something different that we bring to the table. So, but not only do we bring different strengths, but we also bring different limitations. We also bring different weaknesses, and you should not penalize the other person for their weakness when you were sent to make them better. Wow. I'm almost done. Something's in my eye. This is the devil. Is this good, everybody? Right. Okay. Well, watch this. So when we talk about, let me give you just a quick example, man. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I told you my people coming. Watch this. Can I tell you, here's a PowerPoint. Let me just drop this PowerPoint on you. That whatever you recognize, you have a responsibility to in your covenant relationship. Let me say it again. Whatever you recognize. So in other words, whatever I recognize in my wife, whatever I recognize that she's into, her abilities, her drive, all that kind of jazz, I now have a responsibility to. Let me make that make sense. Let me give you a good example. So anyone who knows First Lady, you all know that she is heavily into fashion and all of that, right? And so it's this idea that she also has aspirations to do it professionally. So if you need a stylist, and all of that fashion, stylist, makeup artist and all that, please reach out to First Lady, because I'm telling you, she's cold with it. So then because I recognize, watch this, what's in her and all of that, now my responsibility as her covenant partner, watch this, is to display some sense of veracity, advocacy, and accountability. I'm leaving y'all with this. A sense of veracity, a sense of advocacy, a sense of accountability. Pastor, why are these things good? Because, watch this, as her covenant partner, it's important that I'm honest about my reviews, right? I don't have to be nasty and malicious and all of that, but I can just be honest, constructive criticism and all of that. So that's part of my responsibility, right? So that she can become better, because that's the hope, that's the plan, that she will become better. And then watch this, being supportive any way possible. What can I do to help? And all of that. And okay, right? Being supportive, watch this, and giving her the liberty and the drive to pursue purpose. And then here's the other piece. Watch this. Can you focus on me? And then don't forget I said accountability. Yeah, because now I'm going to hold you accountable to the call, because I'm the particular type of person. You can't tell me what God said and expect for me not to hold you accountable. Or you can't tell me what your desires are and expect for me not to hold you accountable. If you said this is what you want to do, and I recognize you have that ability and all that to do it, I'm going to hold you accountable. Now, it's one thing if you can't just do it, and I'm just like, babe, let me just be honest. Maybe this ain't really for you, or maybe, we need to sharpen some tools, maybe take some classes, whatever the case may be. But if I see something in you, yeah, and I'm like, yo, we need to go get it. You don't just get to quit because you tired. You don't just get to quit because you upset. You don't just get to give up, watch this, because the community's not supporting you yet, or because you haven't made it big, right? Or I don't get to give up, because maybe we're in a hard season. No, man, I'm holding you accountable. If you said this is what you want to do, watch this, and I've come into agreement with that, I'm going to hold you accountable. Why? Because now, evidently, purpose has connected to it. I hope this is making sense. Okay? So this is what relational vision is. And then lastly, everybody, we're going to talk about destiny demonstrations. So in other words, it's one thing for you to tell me who you are, what you bring to the table, what qualities you have, and all of that. But it's another thing for you to demonstrate all of these things. What oftentimes kills a lot of relationships is we talk a good game, but we're not demonstrating consistently, especially when it matters. Oftentimes people demonstrate when it's convenient. No, the true litmus test is when you do it and you don't feel like it. When you do it and you don't feel like it. Yeah, that's the real litmus test. That's when you're really locked into purpose. I don't feel like getting up, but I'm getting up anyway. I don't feel like cooking, but I'm cooking anyway. Watch this. I'm upset with you, but I'm still going to affirm you anyway. Come on, man. I'm doing my part. And whatever it is, whatever the plan is, the purpose is, the vision is. Why? Because here it is. This I came to tell you this one thing, that the power of agreement can produce anything. The power of agreement can produce anything. Purpose needs to be the focal point of every relationship. Why? Because purpose secures and maintains passion. I'll deal with that later. Yeah. Purpose eliminates, watch this, relational ambiguity. Purpose meets anthropological needs. Purpose fulfills the will of God. And purpose creates a place of peace. Purpose is asking, can you focus on me? Focus, center your relationship around purpose. Hear me real good. And if you center your relationship around purpose, purpose will direct every decision, both individual decisions and collective decisions. Y'all remember that movie? I think it was Boomerang that said, love should have brought you home last night. Yeah. If he was in purpose, he wouldn't have been in somebody else's bed. Woo! But he would have been at home with his covenant partner. That's it, y'all. I just wanted to drop some nuggets. Thank you for flowing with your boy. We got more to talk about. I see y'all next time in the flow with Pastor Joe. I'm out.